Get into the news. The former Conservative Deputy Chief Whip, his name is Chris Pincher, could face questioning by police as another groping allegation comes to light.
So the accusation comes from now a constituency member who says he was groped in a car by the Tamworth MP last year.
OK, well, in Westminster there's anger within the Conservative Party over the handling of the allegations, with MPs putting pressure on the Prime Minister to make clear that Pincher should resign as a Member of Parliament.
Well, let's get more on all of this and speak to political correspondent for the Daily Express, Dan Falvey. Very good morning to you. Dan, always good to see you. Look, another day of terrible headlines frankly, for the Conservatives. This isn't really about Boris. It's about another Conservative male MP doing something, allegedly, that is, quite frankly, really shocking.
Yeah, and that's true. This is not just about Boris Johnson. It's about the whole party. And that's what's frustrating a lot of backbench MPs. They are looking at the party becoming engulfed in more and more scandals. They're looking at the opinion polls, which shows that now voters across the country think that this is the entire Conservative Party. And there's good, hard-working backbench MPs who are going, this isn't me, but what do I do? How can I sort this out? This is now tainting me and my chance of getting re-elected at the next election.
Well, look, the thing is, Pincher had a reputation. People knew about him. And the anger is, why are people like him with such reputations allowed to exist?
And that's why there are certain Conservative MPs, Caroline Noakes being one of them, who are saying we need to do more. We need to have zero tolerance on these sort of allegations. And that requires not just suspending people from the party. That requires going further. It requires setting out a clear code of conduct. And it means setting out that if any of these allegations come to light, they immediately lose the whip and an investigation immediately starts. Not, as we saw in this case, where the allegations came out and it took another 24 hours before action was taken to remove the whip.
Yeah, and look, let's be clear. I mean, this wasn't the first time allegations emerged. I mean, in 2017, there were allegations. Theresa May then dealt with the situation which didn't involve sacking him or getting rid of him. Is there an element, do you think, from the Prime Minister in his decision-making on how to handle this? Is he thinking about how to avoid another by-election as opposed to what is perhaps the morally right thing to do?
Well, the problem that Boris Johnson does have is, even if he wanted to take more action, it's actually impossible for him to force it. He is elected, Chris Pincher is elected by voters, and therefore he has a personal mandate. Boris Johnson can suspend the whip. He can suspend him as a Conservative member completely, which he's yet to do. He's so far only suspended from sitting with Conservative MPs in Parliament. He still pays to be a Conservative member. He could take action on that. But when it comes to forcing a by-election, he's actually powerless, and that is up to Chris Pincher himself.
Dan, can we talk about this national insurance cut? Is it a cut? Is it not a cut? I understand if you earn 35 grand a year or more, it'll certainly not be a cut for you. Is this just spin, or will people, why put it up to take it down again?
I think that's what an awful lot of people across the country think. People across the country want to lower taxes, but what they want to see is a real terms cut. They don't want a bit of magic where they see one hand, it goes up and then it comes back down for some people. They want to see more tax cuts. This is a good start, and a lot of Conservative MPs will say this is what corrects an error that we made earlier this year. But I think voters want more. People across the country don't want just national insurance to go down. They want to see cuts on fuel duty. They want to see cuts on VAT. This is a good start, and it will help the most vulnerable. But as you say, it won't help those who earn more than £35,000 a year. And quite frankly, this one tax cut is not enough to win over voters.
Yeah, look, I'm always interested in the story itself, but also the way the story is delivered. And I found it interesting that not only was this a joint article between the Chancellor and the Prime Minister, a show of unity making this announcement, but also that they decided not to announce this on College Green or in front of the dispatch box, but in a Sunday newspaper. Is that sort of unusual?
And I think one of the things that Rishi Sunak has said is that, speaking to voters, he was surprised how many people across the country were unaware of this national insurance cut that's coming. And I think they felt very much the need to push that message out more, the need to talk to people who read the newspapers to say, look, this is what we're doing. Because I think they feel that they're putting in this work, and quite frankly, voters aren't recognising it at the moment.